At this stage in life, something becomes undeniably clear. Time is no longer an endless resource, and each day carries a deeper significance. For many people in their 50s, 60s, and beyond, there is often a sense of wondering what comes next. After decades spent building a career, raising a family, and fulfilling countless responsibilities, the question arises, what is my purpose now? This is not a question rooted in despair, but rather in awakening. It is a reflection that should inspire rather than unsettle. It is an opportunity to recognize the immense value of these years and the freedom they bring. For far too long, society has suggested that the later years of life are meant for slowing down, for stepping back. But resting should not mean waiting for the end. Instead, it should mean embracing the possibilities that come with a life well lived. Now more than ever, you have the power to shape the narrative of your final chapters. These years, if fully embraced, can be a time of deep joy, personal fulfillment, and meaningful connection with the world around you. By shifting your perspective, prioritizing happiness, and choosing to live intentionally, you can make each day truly count. As we grow older, time takes on a different meaning. In youth, it seemed infinite. Days blurred into weeks, weeks into years, and the passing of time was hardly noticed. But as we reach our later years, each day becomes more vivid. Every sunrise holds greater significance because we have lived enough to understand how quickly life can change. This realization should not be a source of fear, but rather a call to action. The time you have left, whether it is 10, 20, or 30 more years, is precious. It is yours to shape, and the way you choose to spend it will define the richness of your remaining journey. Rather than seeing this phase of life as an inevitable slowing down, view it as a fresh beginning, a time of possibility rather than decline. Ask yourself, what experiences do I still wish to have? What truly brings me joy? What will bring me peace? These are the questions that matter most now. In earlier years, personal fulfillment was often sacrificed for responsibility. There was always work to be done, bills to be paid, and obligations to meet. Happiness was often postponed, put on hold for another time. But now, that time has arrived. These years belong to you in a way that no other stage of life has before. The beauty of this time is that you are no longer bound by the expectations or pressures of others. There is no need to seek approval, no rigid structure dictating what must be done. You are free to follow your own path, to embrace whatever brings you contentment and purpose. This is the moment to truly live. Make it count by filling your days with activities that nourish your soul. Spend time with the people who matter most. Rekindle old hobbies or discover new ones. Travel to places you have always dreamed of visiting. Or simply allow yourself to enjoy the quiet beauty of a peaceful afternoon with no obligations pulling you away from the present moment. Your time now is more valuable than gold. It is a gift that should not be squandered on worry, regret, or meaningless distractions. Instead, let it be filled with the things that make you feel alive. Choose to spend your days with intention, with gratitude, and with the unwavering belief that the best moments of your life can still be ahead of you. Happiness cannot wait for someday. If there is one lesson life has made abundantly clear by this stage, it is that waiting for happiness is a mistake. How many times have you told yourself that joy will come once certain milestones are reached? When the children are grown, when the mortgage is paid off, when retirement finally arrives. But if you are honest with yourself, you have likely realized that happiness is not something that suddenly appears after achieving a particular goal. Throughout life, so many people have postponed their own joy, believing that fulfillment exists just beyond the next accomplishment. There was always something more to strive for, another task to complete, another responsibility to fulfill. Yet, when that moment arrived, the expected happiness often failed to appear. The reason is simple. Happiness is not found in the anticipation of the future, but in the present moment. It is not something to be delayed, not a destination to be reached at a later time. It is something that must be chosen and embraced today. At this stage of life, there is no time left to wait. The opportunity to experience joy, contentment, and fulfillment exists now, not in some distant, uncertain future. Happiness is not dependent on perfect circumstances or ideal outcomes. It is found in the decision to appreciate what is already present, to find meaning and gratitude in everyday life. Each day offers moments of beauty and peace, but they can only be recognized when one is willing to look for them. Take a moment to reflect on what brings happiness in the present, not in a month, not in a year, but today. Perhaps it is the warmth of a morning cup of coffee, the laughter of a friend, or the quiet serenity of a walk through nature. Maybe it is the feeling of getting lost in the pages of a good book, or the simple joy of listening to a favorite song. Whatever it is, make space for it in daily life. Prioritizing happiness does not require grand gestures or dramatic changes. It only requires the willingness to recognize and embrace what is already within reach. Do not let the days slip away while waiting for the perfect moment to enjoy life. That moment is here, waiting to be claimed. The years ahead are too valuable to be spent in anticipation. Happiness is not something that must be earned or delayed. It is something that must be lived. Letting go of the work ethic trap and redefining purpose is essential. For much of life, society has instilled the belief that a person's value is tied to their productivity, achievements, and ability to contribute to the workforce. Success was measured by long hours, dedication, and the roles played in professional and personal life. It was a mindset that shaped decades of working and striving, but as time moves forward, it becomes necessary to reconsider what truly gives life meaning. The idea that purpose is solely linked to career and productivity is a trap that leaves many people feeling lost once retirement arrives. For years, identity was intertwined with work, whether as a teacher, a doctor, a business owner, or a homemaker. Stepping away from those roles can feel unsettling, even disorienting. It is natural to question what comes next, to wonder, without work, who am I? But purpose does not retire. A meaningful life is not confined to job titles or professional achievements. These later years present an opportunity to redefine fulfillment, to explore new passions, and to embrace a life that is shaped by personal desires rather than external expectations. This is a time to engage in activities that bring joy, to contribute in ways that feel meaningful, and to focus on pursuits that provide a sense of purpose outside of career obligations. There are countless ways to find fulfillment beyond the workplace. Some people choose to dedicate their time to causes they care about, volunteering to make a difference in their communities. Others find meaning in mentoring younger generations, passing on the wisdom they have gained through years of experience. For many, this stage of life provides the freedom to dive into hobbies and interests that were once set aside due to the demands of work and family. Whether it is learning a new skill, pursuing a creative passion, or deepening relationships with loved ones, these are the years to invest in what truly matters. Living with purpose does not require grand gestures or achievements. It can be as simple as waking up each day with a sense of intention, making choices that align with personal values, and allowing oneself to embrace joy without the weight of expectation. A life well lived is not measured by output or productivity, but by the depth of experience and connection. There is no longer a need to prove anything or to earn a place in the world. Those years have already been lived. Now, it is time to shift the focus inward, to live in a way that feels meaningful on a personal level. These years are not about checking off another accomplishment or meeting another expectation. They are about truly living, about experiencing each day with a renewed sense of freedom and fulfillment. This is the time to embrace life, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to make each moment count. Stop waiting for permission to enjoy life. For years, you followed the rules, worked hard, and did what was expected. You built a life, provided for your family, and fulfilled countless responsibilities. Society had its expectations, and you met them. Now, in this stage of life, you may find yourself still waiting for permission to slow down, to relax, or to do the things that bring you joy. But the truth is, you do not need anyone's approval anymore. For decades, your focus was on others, your children, your spouse, your career. Every decision you made took into account the needs of those around you. It was about providing, supporting, and making sure everyone else was taken care of. But now, the time has come to start living for yourself. This shift can feel unfamiliar, even unsettling, after so many years of prioritizing others. You might question whether it is selfish to put your happiness first, to say no to obligations that no longer serve you, or to choose activities that bring you joy. But prioritizing your own well-being is not selfish. It is necessary. This is your time, and it has been well earned. If traveling excites you, then go. If you find joy in gardening, spend your afternoons outside with your hands in the soil. If you love reading, painting, or simply sitting in the quiet of your home with a cup of tea, embrace those moments. You no longer need to justify your choices to anyone. There is no obligation to explain why something makes you happy. You have spent a lifetime giving to others. Now, it is time to give back to yourself. The world does not require you to keep proving your worth. You have already done more than enough. By allowing yourself to fully enjoy life, you will not only bring fulfillment to your own days, but will also have more energy and joy to share with the people around you. Your happiness is not a reward for past sacrifices. It is a responsibility you owe to yourself. The myth of work-life balance for seniors is one that no longer applies. For much of life, the concept of balance was about managing the demands of work and personal life, trying to juggle responsibilities while maintaining a sense of self. It was an impossible task for many, as career demands often took precedence. The struggle to find time for family, rest, and personal interests was constant. But now, as you enter retirement or continue working by choice, the meaning of balance shifts entirely. At this stage, the priority is no longer balancing work with life. It is about making life the focus. The years ahead are too valuable to be spent on obligations that do not bring fulfillment. If you choose to continue working, that is perfectly fine. But the balance should always tip toward what nourishes your spirit. Work should be something that enhances your life, not something that defines it. For those who have already stepped into retirement, this is the time to fully release the idea that work is the measure of your identity. You are no longer bound by career expectations or the pressures of productivity. Your worth is not tied to a job title or a schedule filled with responsibilities. Life should now take center stage. Your time is entirely your own. How you fill it is up to you. Whether it is traveling, pursuing hobbies, spending more time with family and friends, or simply enjoying the peace that comes with a slower pace, these are the things that matter. There is no need to be bound by the old definitions of success and purpose. Now, fulfillment is measured not by what you accomplish, but by how deeply you enjoy each moment. The balance you seek is no longer between work and life, it is within life itself. It is found in choosing joy, in embracing simplicity, and in living in a way that truly reflects what matters to you. This is your time to live fully, without hesitation, without apology, and without waiting for permission. The happiness advantage is more than just a fleeting emotion. It is a powerful force that can shape the quality of your life. Studies consistently show that people who cultivate happiness tend to live longer, healthier lives. Scientists refer to this as the happiness advantage, and it is something that can be embraced at any stage of life. When happiness becomes a priority, the body responds in remarkable ways. The immune system strengthens, the mind remains sharper, and there is a greater likelihood of staying active and engaged with the world. Happiness is not just about feeling good. It is directly connected to overall well-being. But how can happiness be cultivated in the later years of life? It begins with the conscious decision to find joy in everyday moments. It is found in the warmth of a conversation with family, the satisfaction of pursuing a lifelong passion, or the tranquility of a walk in nature. True happiness does not rely on grand achievements or material wealth. Instead, it is about recognizing and appreciating the small details that make life beautiful. The real fountain of youth is not something that can be purchased in a bottle or found in a medical breakthrough. It exists in the ability to embrace joy in the present moment. When happiness is prioritized, it not only enhances the quality of life, but may even add more years to it. This shift in perspective starts with a simple but powerful decision: to choose happiness each day. It is never too late to change your life. One of the most common misconceptions about aging is the belief that, at a certain point, change is no longer possible. Many people assume that dreams must be abandoned or that opportunities are reserved for the younger years. But in reality, the ability to grow, reinvent, and embrace new possibilities remains intact at any age. There are countless stories of individuals who have transformed their lives later in life. Some have pursued new careers in their 60s, proving that passion and ambition do not fade with time. Others have learned new skills in their 70s, discovering talents they never knew they had. Many have found new passions in their 80s, realizing that there is always room for exploration and self-discovery. The key to embracing change is maintaining an open mind and a willing heart. Age should never be viewed as a limitation. The barriers to change are often self-imposed, rooted in doubt rather than reality. A dream that has lingered in the background for years does not lose its value with time. If there is something that has always been on the horizon, something left undone or unexplored, now is the time to pursue it. Perhaps it is finally visiting a destination that has been long dreamed of, experiencing a new culture, or stepping outside of familiar surroundings. Maybe it is learning a new language, proving that curiosity and intellect do not diminish with age. It could be picking up a hobby that was set aside during the busier years, rekindling a love for music, painting, or writing. There is no reason to hesitate or hold back. Life is meant to be fully embraced regardless of the stage one is in. The number of candles on a birthday cake does not determine the potential for new beginnings. Age is simply a number, a marker of time, not a barrier to growth. As long as there is a willingness to embrace change, the possibilities remain endless. As the years pass, many people begin to reflect on the legacy they will leave behind. Thoughts naturally turn to how they will be remembered and the impact they will have on the lives of those they love. A true legacy is not measured by wealth or material possessions, but by the values that are passed down and the examples set through daily living. One of the most meaningful legacies a person can leave is one of joy. Choosing to live a life filled with happiness, kindness, and love creates a lasting influence on the people around them. It inspires children, grandchildren, friends, and even the larger community to embrace those same values. The way someone makes others feel, the warmth of their presence, the laughter they share, the love they extend, becomes their most enduring gift. Each day presents an opportunity to build this legacy. With every action and decision, a lasting impression is created. Living with intention ensures that what remains is a reflection of the best parts of a person. The ability to find joy in simple pleasures, to love deeply, and to fully cherish time spent with loved ones all contribute to a legacy that will continue to shine long after they are gone. Embracing gratitude is one of the most transformative practices in life's later years. As time passes, it is easy to dwell on what has been lost: youth, health, or opportunities that have come and gone. However, shifting focus toward gratitude allows for a new perspective, one that highlights abundance rather than absence. Gratitude is not just about being thankful for significant achievements or grand gestures. It is about recognizing and appreciating the small, everyday moments that make life meaningful. The warmth of the sun on a chilly morning, the gentle sound of birds at dawn, the quiet presence of a loved one. These seemingly simple experiences hold profound beauty. They serve as reminders that even as life changes, there is always something to be grateful for. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude leads to increased happiness, better health, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. It brings a sense of peace by shifting attention away from challenges and toward the many gifts that still exist. A heart filled with appreciation is far more likely to find contentment, regardless of the circumstances. Making gratitude a daily habit can have a profound impact. Taking a moment each morning to acknowledge 3 things to be thankful for before even getting out of bed can set a positive tone for the day. Whether it is a phone call from a friend, a good meal, or simply the comfort of a familiar routine, recognizing these blessings cultivates a richer, more meaningful life. The more gratitude is practiced, the more apparent it becomes that life remains full of moments worth cherishing. Even in the face of difficulties, there is always something to appreciate. A grateful heart sees not just what is missing, but the countless gifts that remain. As the years pass, many people carry the weight of past regrets, mistakes, and unresolved conflicts. These emotional burdens often grow heavier with time, quietly stealing peace and joy from the present. Yet, there is one powerful truth that can transform the later years of life. True peace comes through forgiveness. Forgiving others, and even forgiving oneself, can be one of the most liberating acts a person can experience. Forgiveness is often seen as something done for someone else, an act of kindness toward another person. But in reality, it is a profound gift given to oneself. It releases the bitterness, resentment, and anger that keep the past alive, allowing for true emotional freedom. Without forgiveness, it is easy to become trapped in a cycle of replaying old wounds, reliving mistakes, and dwelling on moments that can no longer be changed. At this stage in life, it is important to reflect on what is still being held on to. Unresolved pain, strained relationships, or lingering self-reproach can become barriers to living fully. Whether it is a conflict with family, a friendship that ended on difficult terms, or a mistake that has never been forgiven, now is the time to let it go. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or excusing what happened. It means choosing to no longer let the past dictate the present. It is a conscious decision to release the emotional grip that past events have on the heart. Perhaps the hardest person to forgive is oneself. Many people carry regrets for things they wish had been done differently. Decisions made in haste, words spoken in frustration, or opportunities that slipped away. But holding on to these regrets only serves to steal the joy of the present moment. Dwelling on what cannot be changed prevents full appreciation of what still lies ahead. Taking a moment to reflect on the emotional weight that has been carried over the years can provide clarity. What pain is ready to be released? Who is waiting for forgiveness? And perhaps most importantly, how can compassion be extended toward oneself? Releasing the past allows space for joy, peace, and fulfillment to take its place. Forgiveness is the doorway to peace, not just peace with others, but peace within oneself. Letting go of anger, regret, and sorrow creates an opening for a life filled with freedom, contentment, and serenity. The final chapters of life do not have to be defined by past pain. They can be shaped by the lightness of forgiveness, by the ability to embrace each day without the burdens of yesterday. This stage of life offers an opportunity to fully embrace the present, unencumbered by lingering wounds. There is no need to be weighed down any longer. Forgiveness opens the path to living freely, with a heart that is at peace, a mind unburdened, and a spirit that is finally able to embrace all that life still has to offer. As the years pass, it is natural to wonder whether the best moments in life have already happened. However, the truth is that it is never too late to find meaning and purpose. Many people in their later years experience a renewed sense of direction, discovering fulfillment in ways they never did when they were younger. Purpose is what keeps life moving forward, providing a reason to wake up each morning with enthusiasm and intention. For some, purpose is rooted in family and relationships, while for others it comes from pursuing a passion, making a difference, or continuing to learn and grow. Regardless of the stage of life, there are endless opportunities to find purpose in meaningful ways. Engaging in volunteer work, mentoring younger generations, or finally exploring a long-held interest can provide a deep sense of fulfillment. Some may take up gardening, join a book club, or begin writing memoirs to share their life stories with future generations. One of the most empowering aspects of embracing purpose later in life is having the freedom to choose what truly matters. It is a time to let go of unnecessary obligations and focus on activities that bring joy and satisfaction. Finding purpose does not require a grand vision or a dramatic change. It is about being present and intentional with time, ensuring that each day holds meaning. Reflecting on what brings excitement, a sense of accomplishment, or a legacy worth leaving behind can be a guiding force. Purpose can also be found in the small, everyday moments. Taking care of oneself, offering a listening ear to someone in need, or forming new connections that bring warmth and fulfillment. These seemingly simple acts can have a profound impact on overall happiness and well-being. It is never too late to start something new or to redefine life's direction. Embracing purpose in later years fosters a sense of vitality that transcends age. With each passing day, there is an opportunity to create, contribute, and connect in meaningful ways. Life does not lose value with time. Rather, it gains depth as new ways to grow and give back are discovered. When life is lived with purpose, every day becomes richer, more intentional, and deeply fulfilling. It is an invitation to shape each moment with intention, ensuring that time is spent on what truly matters. In a world that constantly pushes for speed, achievement, and accumulation, the concept of slow living offers an alternative path, one that prioritizes depth over haste, presence over productivity, and quality over quantity. This approach can be profoundly liberating, especially in later years, when the rush of earlier decades begins to fade. Slow living is about embracing a lifestyle that allows for greater appreciation of the present moment, mindfulness in daily routines, and time spent on what holds true value. Instead of moving through life at a relentless pace, this approach encourages a deliberate awareness of small joys that often go unnoticed. As the natural rhythm of life slows with age, this transition does not have to signal a loss of purpose or excitement. In fact, it can provide the space needed to rediscover joy in life's simplest pleasures. A quiet morning with a cup of tea, a leisurely walk through nature, or an afternoon spent with loved ones can hold more meaning than the fast distractions of the past. Slow living creates the opportunity to be more intentional with time, choosing activities that nourish the soul and bring a deep sense of peace. It allows for the ability to say no to commitments that drain energy and instead invest in experiences that foster happiness and well-being. This shift also encourages a renewed focus on self-care. In a society that often overlooks the importance of rest and reflection, slow living serves as a reminder that well-being is a priority. Taking the time to relax, recharge, and care for both physical and emotional health becomes essential as the years progress. By adopting a rhythm that aligns with personal needs and desires, life becomes more fulfilling and balanced. Slow living does not mean doing less, it means being fully present in everything that is done. It is about creating space for the moments that bring genuine contentment, nurturing relationships that matter, and embracing the beauty found in everyday experiences. As the later years unfold, slow living offers a chance to step away from external pressures and expectations. It is an invitation to cultivate a life that feels rich in meaning, anchored in peace, and filled with the kind of joy that only comes from truly appreciating the present. In a world where time seems to move at an increasingly rapid pace and the pressure to consume never ceases, there is an alternative path, one that offers a sense of peace and fulfillment. It is called the slow life. At first glance, this idea may seem simple, but its impact is profound, particularly for those who have witnessed decades of change and now seek something quieter, more meaningful. Choosing a slower life is not about doing less, but about doing what truly matters, free from the distractions of excess and the constant pull of modern consumerism. With age comes the wisdom to recognize that material possessions often hold far less significance than we once believed. In our younger years, success was frequently measured by accumulation. The more we owned, the better off we were perceived to be. Society reinforced this idea, bombarding us with advertisements that insisted happiness was tied to the things we could buy. Owning the latest gadget, driving the most expensive car, or taking extravagant vacations were all sold to us as the ultimate markers of success and fulfillment. Yet, with time, many of us have come to realize that true happiness does not stem from what we own. The modern world is built on consumerism, carefully designed to encourage endless spending. It conditions us to believe that we are valuable only if we participate in the cycle of buying, upgrading, and replacing. But consuming endlessly does not satisfy the deeper needs of the soul. It merely distracts us from them. For those who remember a time when life moved at a slower, more deliberate pace, this relentless push to consume can feel overwhelming. Yet, there is another way. We are no longer bound to this race. In fact, we have reached an age where it is not only acceptable but also deeply rewarding to step away from it, to slow down, to breathe, and to embrace a life of simplicity. Many years ago, I made the decision to downsize. I sold my large home and moved into a much smaller space, a narrowboat. If you know anything about narrowboats, you understand their size limitations. 50 feet in length and just under 7 feet wide, they offer little room for unnecessary belongings.